3 scary true Reddit stories, Jake whispered to himself as he scrolled through the forums late one night. As a 16-year-old with a taste for the macabre, he often found himself deep in the horror sections of Reddit, reading stories that sent shivers down his spine. But these 3 stories were different. They felt too real, too close to home. The first of the 3 scary true Reddit stories that caught Jake's attention was about a silent caller. A user named Shadowseeker23 posted about his experience a few years back. "One night I was home alone," the story began. "I got a call from an unknown number. Thinking it was just a prank, I answered, but there was no one on the other end. Just silence." Shadowseeker23 went on to describe how the calls kept coming, always silent, always from different numbers. He started to feel paranoid, thinking he was being watched. One evening, he decided to confront the silence. "I said, 'Whoever you are, I'm not afraid of you.' That's when I heard breathing, slow, heavy breathing. Then, in a deep, raspy voice, it said, 'I'm closer than you think.'" The second of the 3 scary true Reddit stories was posted by a user named Nightwatcher99. It was titled, "The Shadow in the Attic." "When I was 12, it started, my family moved into an old house in the countryside. It was charming but had an eerie attic that was always locked." Nightwatcher 99 recounted how they were told never to go into the attic. The lock was old and rusty, and sometimes at night they could hear faint noises coming from above. One night, curiosity got the better of him. "My parents were out, and I found the attic key in my dad's desk. I unlocked the door and climbed the creaky stairs." What he saw made Jake's heart race. The attic was dimly lit by a small window. In the corner, there was a large old trunk. As Nightwatcher99 approached, he felt an overwhelming sense of dread. He opened the trunk and found nothing but old clothes and toys. But as he turned to leave, he saw it. There was a shadow standing in the corner, but there was no one there to cast it. It started moving towards me. I ran down the stairs, slammed the door shut, and locked it. The noises stopped after that night, but I've never forgotten that shadow.
The final story of the 3 scary true Reddit stories was by HauntedHeart77. It was simply titled, "The Man in the Mirror." When I was 14, my parents bought a beautiful antique mirror at an estate sale. They hung it in the hallway, and from the first day, I hated it. Haunted at Heart 77 described how every time he passed by the mirror, he felt uneasy. He started noticing strange things, like cold spots in the hallway and whispers that seemed to come from the glass itself. One night, I was brushing my teeth and glanced at the mirror. I saw a man standing behind me grinning, but when I turned around, no one was there. The sightings became more frequent. The man in the mirror always looked the same. Tall, thin, with hollow eyes and a sinister smile. Haunted Heart 77 tried to ignore it, but the man began to appear in his dreams. He would stand at the foot of my bed just watching. I told my parents, but they didn't believe me. They thought it was just my imagination. One night, Haunted Heart 77 woke up to find the man in the mirror standing in his room. Not just in the mirror anymore. I was frozen with fear. He leaned down and whispered in my ear, "You can't escape me." I screamed and my parents rushed in. The man was gone, but the mirror was shattered. Jake's heart was pounding as he finished the story. He couldn't shake the feeling that he was being watched. The room felt colder, and the shadows seemed to dance in the corners. He decided he'd had enough for one night. As he turned off his computer and lay down, he couldn't help but think about the stories. They were just tales from strangers on the internet, right? But as he drifted off to sleep, he heard a soft whisper in his ear. 3 scary true Reddit stories. Jake's eyes snapped open, but there was no one there. Just the darkness of his room and the lingering echo of the whisper. He pulled the covers over his head, trying to convince himself it was just his imagination. But deep down, he knew the stories had left their mark on him, and he wasn't sure if he'd ever feel truly alone again.